All right, sorry for the delay. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about a variety of topics. We're going to stream for about an hour, but this first topic what we are going to talk about is how production and maybe potentially Tesla's order backlog has maybe doubled, and this could be why your EDD, your estimated delivery date, your Tesla Model 3 Y, S, or X has now been pushed to April, and we will talk about it. Amongst other topics, we're going to talk about bigger discounts are here for the Model 3. Super exciting because we definitely called that. Maybe potentially a cheaper Tesla wall connector that could be coming. These two companies are partnering up to go against Tesla, and also we'll talk about why I quit Turo. Every once in a while, I do get asked what are my thoughts on Turo? And I saw that Ryan Shaw made a video about quitting Turo as well, so I'll give my thoughts on it. But before we run into any of that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel and get a link to my best list of credit unions and banks that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, so you can get your best deal on a Tesla. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below, or the YouTube join link, new feature. But thank you to my latest Patreon members. We got Devon, Matt. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting. If you want to check out, down below in the description. But let us jump into this. So of course, shout out to Troy Teslike on Twitter. Hi everyone. Based on my calculation, Tesla's global order backlog was 106,000 units on February 28th. The big increase happened in North America. I mean, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to everyone, right? Because Tesla did, basically have a massive haircut across all the different prices down, but with Model Y notably going down $13,000. Because if you're new to the game, if you're new to the pricing, or you might have heard that, well, the Model Y on January 1st was $66,000 for a Model Y long range, and then Tesla whacked the price, discounted it $13,000 down to $53,990, and then of course now it's been increased a little bit up to $54,990, and they've kind of hit the pause button since. And so the question is why haven't they rose the price if these order backlogs have been increasing for Tesla? And it's because of this $7,500 federal tax credit. This is a pretty big, sizable chunk. I mean, if you were to finance $7,500 as a discounted value, that's at least $200, $300 a month, give or take, off of that. I mean, we could probably even do that just to see exactly. But taking a look, even diving further into Troy Teslike's prediction, we can see that the USA column, he predicted that there was 28,000 orders in the backlog for the USA on January 31st, and that more than doubled to 68,700 and 48,000 production or order backlog for the US. And so that could be why there's a ton of people out there that, have a pending order right now that are being pushed. And the question here that is like, if Tesla loses this $7,500 federal tax credit, I've certainly asked this a bunch to the channel, to the community, like, what are you going to do? Would you immediately hit the cancel button? Would you wait a little bit until see if Tesla does some sort of price discount, or would you just take delivery anyways because you still think it's a good deal at the end of the day? Well, of course, we're about slick deals. We're about getting the best deal. So trying to maximize that $7,500 federal tax credit is certainly key. But the latest, at least from what we're speculating here, and maybe at least from what everybody else is thinking. So I put a poll out there. When do you think the IRS Treasury will announce guidance on the EV tax credit? And an overwhelming majority, I mean, this probably is more wishful thinking or wishful voting. March 31st, they picked March 31st with a 30 to 60 day transition period at a staggering majority of 30%. Here's another one. March 31st is in the 23%, and then 20%. So it seems kind of pretty even. 20% still thought sometime between now and March 30th. So I think as every day goes by, I mean, I certainly feel like IRS and the Treasury are not going to release any sort of guidance, especially because there's a lot going on right now, maybe with the Treasury, and they're probably going to push it until March 31st with some sort of rollout. So I think that's what my prediction is. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what your thoughts, or let me know what's your pending order status. But shout out to Troy Teslike for posting this. He's even got a more detailed table of his predictions based upon like factory and all that stuff. And you can see right here, massive Fremont and Texas Model Y long range, almost 95,000 units across the board for the predictions. So definitely a good amount of stuff, definitely a good amount of vehicles. But this could be the reason why your estimated delivery date has been pushed, or maybe even pushed up. But jumping to like the Model Y, there's still is a good healthy amount of Tesla Model Ys on waitingfortesla.com, which is a third-party aggregator site for Tesla.com. And the thing is, there still is a lot of long-range vehicles as well. I mean, of course, these are all 7-seaters. We've speculated on why those potentially are a bunch of 7-seaters, but right now there's a bunch of 7-seaters, long ranges, and only a couple Model Y all-wheel drive. So we talked about EDD hacks. We've talked about how to potentially bump up that order, and it could be changing to induction rims, or changing to 7-seater, or just trying to pick up a demo. So right here, this one stuck out to me. Blue with black interior, 20-inch rims, 7-seat interior, 4 miles on the clock. So really, really low miles, and a $460 discount. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it are. It seems like the order backlog, at least from Troy Teslike, he seems to feel like it is doubling up. And so the question is, there's a lot of things going on with this federal tax credit, with it potentially going away. And so that order backlog, it might be looking healthy now, at least for the US, but it could certainly disappear very, very quickly. But even, my prediction is, even if Tesla lost, let's say half of the tax credit, it went down to $3,750, I would say Tesla would just they would play the waiting game, maybe a cat and mouse game. They would wait, a few weeks, maybe a week, to see if people actually start to cancel. And then if people start to cancel at a pretty rapid rate, then they'll just drop it $3,750 so that you're made whole at a full $7,500. And the reason why I think this is because since like January or since February, Tesla has raised the price of the Model Y long range and basically all the vehicles from the Model Y up to $1,000 for the long range. And so they are kind of building themselves a little bit of buffer, right? They're raising it up a little bit so that they could potentially lower it down if they need to. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price, including really good financing rates that all have rates better than Tesla financing in like the 2s, the 3s, even 4% APR, which is crazy that, that's a good rate right now, but it is what it is. So definitely check out if you're interested. If you want to support the channel, Patreon link in the description. Water break.